This is the Frank and Friends show. Hi there, I'm Frank Murphy.
I'm Becca James, the girl with two first names.
You know I love it when you say that.
I know you do.
Well, thanks for being here. Happy, I guess it's close enough to say Easter, you know, because my wife has put out the Easter decorations.
Yes, that you clearly stole from the White House.
Well, not the bowl. So happy Pasqua, happy Holy Week, happy Maundy. Today, I think it's,
happy day of the week if you don't celebrate any of those.
Well, actually, I wondered about you and your family, because for you, this would be Eastover? Or is it?
It's
no, it would be Pastor. No, it can't be Pastor. Eastbound and Down. You can celebrate that.
It's not a couple things, so we don't have to try to come up with a silly name for it. But yeah, no, we generally just go with like the Easter traditions. We bought the dye kit so we can, dye the Easter eggs. My kids really are into that.
Yeah.
And they love to search for the eggs. But really all they care about, candy. This is second Halloween.
That's second Halloween.
Yeah.
I've just had
Without the work, so that makes it better.
Now, you'll have to come back after Easter. In fact, if you can, I'd love it if you come back next week or so, because my wife does this thing where she likes to fill her plastic eggs with jelly beans, and then we get the camera ready, and she'll do this. She'll hold it over her head, and then crack it open, and we take as many pictures as we can as the jelly beans cascade down the front of her face.
Yep. That's pretty cute.
It always looks like, we get the one perfect picture, but there's so many that don't.
Oh, yeah. There's so much that goes on behind the scenes just to get there.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, I want to backtrack because I mentioned that you stole these eggs from the White House. So what is the story? Because if you can see these, they say a family Easter at the White House, 1990.
Well, I was there.
So what's the story behind that?
Well, first of all, please subscribe on YouTube. Thank you. In the when I worked at WAVA, All Hit 105, or Power 105, or whatever they called it that day, we often would do events around town, and for whatever reason, the DJs, the star DJs, Don and Mike, were invited as local celebrities to go to the White House Easter egg roll, which is on the day after Easter every year, and they would have celebrities autographing wooden eggs.
Oh, that's cool.
And it would be like local TV and people that the public would recognize. And then the kids would go out and they would take these eggs and they have races where they have to roll them down the lawn, maybe with I don't know if you use a spoon or a spatula, whatever you do. But at one point in history, they swapped out plastic eggs, or real eggs probably for plastic, and then eventually for these nice little wooden ones. Yeah. And they're always printed. And I don't know why we got so many in 1990, because we have one from 1988.
Yeah.
And then I don't think we were invited back in 89.
Different color palette, it looks a little smaller.
Well, this was a different president, actually, if I think about it. These are two different presidents.
Yes.
So, but in 90, there must have been an overabundance, a plethora of the eggs. Plus, we had another kid by then. Frank Jr. was born in January of 1990. Yeah. So I'm guessing that the DJs, Don and Mike, probably gave us their extras.
That makes sense, so that you can use it for the kids.
And Frankie, yeah. So anyway, we saved them all these years, and we pull them out, at Easter time, and make a nice little display.
It's a nice memory.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a big deal to go, be at the White House for that event, but also to get to go in through the security. You have to send in your social security number in advance.
Oh yeah, you have to do the whole
restricted access. Done this,
yeah,
right?
I've done the restricted access tour because my sister worked on the Hill when she was right out of college, so we've gotten to do the behind the scenes stuff in the White House tour. Back when I don't even know if they still allow that type of tour anymore.
They started having similar things. I mean, I haven't been since before the lockdown, but I think Obama was president last time I did the White House tour, because I remember seeing him walk through the garden on his way, around to get around us. Yeah. But we would go with the FBI Citizens Academy and things like that. I think I saw a picture of somebody like taking a partial tour or whatever they're doing. I think they're starting to open that back up. Yeah. But I remember when we did the Congress tour, you couldn't even have your keys. If your keys were remote, like a beep-boop car.
A beep-boop car?
You know what I mean? If you
Yes.
Yeah, well, anyway, so we had those. I didn't know this rule. So we get to the gallery, the peanut gallery, to look down on the Congress. And they're like, oh, no, you can't have that. Because it could be a trigger for a weapon.
It could be a remote detonator.
So they have a big box of cubbies, like a mailbox, and then you just give it to them and they put it in there.
Just hope you get the right one back. It's like, what car am I taking home now?
Yeah. I mean, that reminds me of in the old days of going to movie screenings in Hollywood where you'd have to put your phone in a bag.
Yep.
You've done this.
Yeah.
I think actually that was in Knoxville. We had one of those.
When I was living in Houston, and I would go to like 2 or 3 a week, because that was before kids and I could do things like that. There were many premieres that we would have to put our phones in a bag. Sometimes if you were with press, they might let you leave them, but I mean, there were people staged within the theater with like Hawkeyes, like looking for
like night vision goggles.
Yes, they really were.
Yeah, to make sure you didn't record.
It was serious business.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I don't know why we got on that the security jag, but I'm happy that you're here. I'm happy that you're watching, liking, sharing, subscribing, especially on YouTube as we get closer and closer to 1,000 subscribers, which then makes life easier.
Mash that follow key.
Now, let me ask you about your celebrating St. Patrick's Day still with this built-in flask on your arm.
No, it's not a flask because it can't get wet.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Now, I knew a kid in first grade. He used to suck his thumb, and we wrapped the teachers or whatever they wrapped his hand up in a similar fashion so that he couldn't get his thumb in his mouth.
Oh, well, I have an ironic side note regarding that. But basically, not basically, I play softball, and I was warming up. I'm a pitcher, and I caught a ball wrong because I'm right-handed, but I caught the ball with my left, and I go to put my right over it, 2 hands, proper form, but I must have bent my thumb under, and the ball hit straight on, and it hurt a little bit, but not that bad. Like, it was one of those delayed reaction things. I was like, oh, that kind of hurt. Took my hand out of the glove, or not hand out of the glove, but I was just like, I tried to move it, so I was doing this number, and I was like, okay, I can move it. It's fine. It hurts a little.
So you continued playing?
This was before the game started. Oh. So then I played the entire game, and I got 6 or 7 strikeouts in slow pitch softball that game. So could I just say, best game ever on what I thought was a jammed thumb.
Did you rub some dirt on it? Shake it off?
I did exactly what I did. And I had ice packs from my kids' lunches because they are usually in the dugout during the games. And so I was putting those on them in between innings. So I played the entire game. And then I waited 2 weeks, and they're like, man, that's still swollen. Maybe I should go. I should go have that checked out. I swore it was just jammed. Broken in 2 places and dislocated. So the moral of the story is, if you are over a certain age and you hurt yourself at all, just go to the doctor. Just go. The doctor actually told me, it's a good thing you didn't wait any longer because it started to heal. Because I had to clear my schedule, and we did surgery a few days after that visit.
Oh, there's surgery on that?
Oh yeah, they had to do surgery. There are three screws.
It's not just a cast.
And a pin going straight down. You can.
Oh.
Yeah.
It went through. It's like through your skin there.
Yes, if you see the X-ray, I'll show you the X-ray later if you really want to be grossed out.
Well, I will actually.
But it's literally so because of the dislocation, they had to put the pin in it to keep it in place, and then they had to put screws to fix the bones because it's sheared off on 2 sides. So,
and there's some kind of super glue or something holding your skin closed, or what is that?
Yeah, it's just like some kind of skin glue that's keeping the pin in my thumb, so it doesn't push out.
Oh, sure, you wouldn't want that.
But it's always fun.
That way, it's one way to ruin Easter. Pins up.
It's always fun when your orthopedic surgeon is like, I don't see injuries like this. This is gonna be a tough one. And I'm like, awesome. So lots of experience with this then.
So maybe...
No, actually, my doctor was incredible. The whole experience was more surreal just from the fact that I was in utter shock the moment he's like, yeah, you need surgery. And I was like as in knock you out, it's ether under the... Oh, yeah.
I'm not...
Anesthesia.
Sorry, ether, that's the 1800s when I had surgery.
And thank God it's not like that anymore. Yeah, I totally think they knocked me out. And
I'm pretty sure I had an ether surgery once when I was a kid. I'm pretty sure.
I can see why you would block out that memory.
Yeah.
It was just...
the ether blocked it out for me. So you went under. You went under.
That makes sense why you went into a career in broadcasting and radio.
So you were under the anesthetic, completely out.
Completely out for the surgery. Because I remember when I was coming out of it and whatever, she's like, how are you feeling? Like, no, I'm good. And then I must have been 30 seconds after I became alert that I was like, ow, oh my God, this really hurts. Yes, I want the pain meds. Because I'm like, no, I don't really like pain. Because I don't even like taking Tylenol. So I was like, well, let's just give me a little bit of it and we'll just see how much I really need. At the end of 2 hours, I had taken the full dosage. And it was still barely manageable at that point. And I was like, okay, maybe I will get the prescription filled and take the drugs for a few days.
Yeah.
And then 3 days later, I got on a plane to Vegas.
That's what I noticed this. I don't know. I have a question. Becca James, my dear friend. Are you a Vegas person now?
I'm not a Vegas person.
Were you a Vegas person before?
No. So I had a girls' weekend trip planned since October with my girlfriend.
To Vegas.
But then, because now I work for Cat Bus and the National Transportation Association was having a conference in Vegas that happened to be a week before. CAT
is K-A-T. It's Knoxville Area Transit.
Yes, sorry. Excuse me.
Yeah, it's fine.
Doesn't everybody know what CAT is? You should. And check out catbus.com. We just launched a new website. It's really fantastic. It is. I'm proud of it.
I'm talking to my friend Bean in New Orleans. He wouldn't know. He doesn't know what CAT stands for.
So we had this conference. So this conference and my girls' trip were literally like back to back, 1 week apart. So yes, I've been to Vegas a lot this year, but other than that, I'd only been once before to visit a friend who actually lived there.
Now, did you go to a show? Did you go to, what did you see? You went to the Cirque du Soleil show?
I saw Beatles Love, which, even if you don't love Beatles music.
Is that a Cirque show?
It is a Cirque du Soleil show. And they use the negative space of the theater. It's theater in the round. I mean, they use every inch of that theater, and it was magical. It was trippy. I now know what it must have been like to go on an acid trip.
Okay,
but in the best way.
You're a theater kid, and I'm not. But I love theater. What is negative space?
So we're occupying physical space, so the air space around us is the negative space.
Oh, it's not on the stage, but it's in
the
it's
above. It's above the stage, and it's like they would have these strings of lights that would like come down from the ceiling, but it was dark, so you couldn't see them. So all you see is like the flashing lights.
Okay.
For Lucy in the Sky Was Diamonds, that was the song that it went into for that. So I mean, it was just all encompassing around the stage. It was my favorite Cirque show I've ever seen, and I've seen about 5. They've all been spectacular, but this one really
and so that you went
up a notch.
Which one of the 2 trips you went to see it, or both?
Just the first trip, I saw that. The second trip, we went and saw Jimmy Buffett.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, and I apparently learned that most parrot heads who are of an older generation are also potheads. There were lots of references to reefer, and I'm like, oh, okay.
Well, the name of the band, it's Jimmy Buffett and the Coral Reefer Band.
Oh, I guess I didn't realize that part.
Yeah, because you think it refers to the ocean, right? I guess I thought that too.
I guess I've never paid attention to what his band was called. It's always been like just Jimmy Buffett to me.
There's some guy named Mac McAnally who is part of the Coral Reefer Band, and he's got a concert in Knoxville coming up.
You should go. He was an incredible musician.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up on Jimmy Buffett because we would summer at South Padre Island when I was growing up. So my dad was always jamming Jimmy Buffett. I did a lip sync. Okay, back in the day, because I was such a nerd, we did speech and debate tournaments. And in junior high, lip sync was a form of competition. And so I actually had this really amazing Cheeseburgers in Paradise lip sync to a Jimmy Buffett song.
My whole radio career is because of a lip sync contest.
What?
I tell you, let's keep going.
Okay, that was really it. I just to say that, yeah. So we saw Beatles Love, saw Jimmy Buffett the next weekend. I didn't do, well, that's not true. I lost $5 in slots for my mom my first trip because she's like, oh, go put a quarter in a slot machine for me. Yeah. And I'm like, Mom, there aren't quarter slots and I don't have anything less than a 5. So, and she told me she'd split the winnings. So I'm like, all right, Mom, you're down $250. And she's like, all right, well, try again. So
my grandma used to give me a quarter every time I had to go to Vegas for business usually with Mark and Brian or KLOS.
Yeah.
My grandma always asked me to bet a quarter for her in the slots. I've never won anything. But
yeah, I mean, I would get up a little bit and then lose it. It was no big deal. But we did play roulette at Golden Nugget my second trip there because we did Fremont Friday.
Yeah. We
were a little extra that trip. And so we found like these roulette tables. And so we were playing roulette. And so I did eventually win about like $20-$30 on roulette. But then I lost it the next day playing at the hotel.
Yeah.
So, but I broke even. So, haha, Vegas. I didn't win any money, but I didn't lose any either. So I feel like that's a win.
That's a win.
Right?
That's a win. All right, well, let me take a moment to talk about this episode's sponsor, which is bonezones.com. Don't forget the S. And I got an update from Susan over there that some of the items are currently sold out, like the orange hats are sold out, but you can still get the black.
Of course, orange.
The black caps, you know. I don't really want to necessarily put that on the Easter thing. Also, right now they're out of gold skulls, but you can still get the silver skulls if you want the beautiful paperweight. So here's a silver skull. And
I feel like Vanna White right now.
Where's the long sleeve T-shirt? You've got the long sleeve T-shirts are new and in stock, obviously, because they just got a whole shipment of these beauties. The Body Farm long sleeve tee, which, I think in East Tennessee it's getting warm enough, but don't forget we still have dogwood winter and blackberry winter, and there's a bunch of there's 6 little winters of East Tennessee.
And I jinxed us because I washed and put away my kids' winter jackets. So sorry.
You ruined it. It's all you. And something else they've got at Bone Zones now is our friend Sam Venable, who's in the East Tennessee Writers Hall of Fame, I might point out, and often has speaking engagements when we're out and about. Several of his books are autographed and available through bonezones.com if you want to get a nice autographed, like let's see this one, it says,
nice that they're autographed.
Sam Venable.
Nice.
This one, a handful of thumbs and 2 left feet. The joke's on you. All I did was clean out my files. Which is
that's about all I can hold right now.
That's fine. You don't have to hold them all. That's fine. Warning, this product contains nuttiness. And my favorite of the Sam Venable titles is Someday I May Find Honest Work. Because it sums up like our lives in broadcasting, his life in journalism. You can't believe that's how we got a career out of that. But
yeah.
So those are available at bonezones.com. Don't forget the S. You might also be able to get a good deal on an Art Bohannon t-shirt and book combination. Check all those things out. Because actually the way it works is you find what you want on the website, and then you either call Susan or send an email, basically, and she works with you on a one-on-one basis because you might want the stuff personalized, for example.
Yeah.
If you want
especially if it's a gift or
if you want
that.
Dr. Bass to write to Mom or to Becca, there's a little bit of back and forth interaction on that. They want to make sure they get it just so. So it's that personal touch at bonezones.com. Don't forget the S for the autographed Dr. Bass merchandise. All right, that's enough of that. I wanted to make sure I covered. I had a lot.
Absolutely, it's very important. You did have a lot.
I have more in the bin. But like
I feel like their warehouse is now your house is the storage.
I had an appearance with the Bone Zones team recently because Dr. Bass has been dealing with Meniere's disease. So
what is that?
It's like an ear disease that affects his balance and gives him vertigo-like symptoms.
That's not
so it affects his hearing and his balance, and it makes it uncomfortable for him to really be anywhere other than in the easy chair at home. I mean, he's 94 and a half. You got to cut the guy.
Really?
Yeah, you got to cut him some slack.
Yeah.
He'll be 95 in August. So there's a couple of places that have contacted Bone Zones, like, well, we're having an event, we need a guest speaker. And so Susan, this one was I'll tell you exactly what it was. It was the Tennessee Law Enforcement Training Officers Association. Okay. And
you have a Christmas ornament.
Well, they gave me, I gave a speech.
Oh.
I gave a speech to
So they wanted Dr. Bill Bass and they sent you?
Well, and others. So Art Bohannon, the fingerprint expert, was already scheduled to appear.
Yeah.
And then one of Dr. Bass's doctoral students, who's probably my age, Dr. Hugh Berryman, spoke about the law enforcement angle of they were doing bone collection was the topic.
Okay.
But they wanted some of that, Dr. Bass Body Farm magic. So they added me to the agenda as like an opening act. It was supposed to start at 9, but they said, well,
at night?
a.m., 9 in the morning in Gatlinburg. All right. So they said, Frank, you'll go on at 8:30 in the morning in Gatlinburg, which means leaving the house
like
at 6:45 to get there. It's an hour and 15-minute drive to get there at 8. Yeah.
But I'm thinking of but what if you hit rush hour traffic and all that kind of stuff?
Well,
I'd be paranoid. I would leave at 6 just because of paranoia. I wouldn't want to be late.
That's a good point. I was fine until I got to the traffic lights in Gatlinburg, and I went on at 8:30, but I was in the room at 8:05. I wanted to be there, 8 o'clock, but I was still 25 minutes early, so I was fine. Anyway, they liked the speech well enough that they gave me some merch from the guys.
That's nice.
So I get up there and I did the speech about really Dr. Bass's life story and the origins of the Body Farm and some of the notable cases that he's been. It's just this nice little, half-hour slideshow. And And now apparently someone else has recently contacted Bone Zones on a day that we're not sure if Dr. Bass is available or not. So I think I may end up doing my cremation lecture again.
Oh, was that the same?
No, that's a different one.
Okay, I was like, wait a second.
I've got two now. I've got two. At the Rose Glen Literary Festival, I did a lecture on Dr. Bass's study of cremations and fire deaths. Happy Easter, everybody. But I also have to tell you, while I'm boasting on myself,
yes,
it's been a busy time. I've been it seems like it's been since Scholars Bowl. I know I keep saying that. It's like you.
We've been on fast forward for months. Really for years, but really these last
a lot of catch up. Yeah, I saw a meme that says adulthood is constantly saying to yourself, "I'll wait till next week after things slow down for the rest of your life until you die." You know that? Well, for April, I'm gearing up to record more of the up-close interview shows.
Oh, yeah.
So we do those in April and November. And then Scholars Bowl is October, November. But I also book the guests, so that takes... So I've been thinking about the up-close shows
The pre-production is a lot more involved than most people realize.
Right. So anyway, my Aram Demergen interview was on recently, and I thought that went well. Yeah. My Brian Selesky interview will be on at the end of April.
Okay.
And then we run out. Then the new episodes that we're about to film in April will start showing.
The next season will start.
Yeah. Well, they don't. Yes, exactly. I guess that will be the end of season 2, and then the season 3 episodes will begin in May. Well, I get the program guide in the mail, and it's got, I always look in here to see, because there's this blurb. The first thing I do is open it up, and it's got the blurb, Up Close with Frank Murphy, Brian Selesky on Wednesday, April 26th at midnight.
Midnight. Are you even going to be up that late to watch it?
Well, it's a Tuesday night.
So you'll have just come home from Einstein.
So I get home, I get home about 11. So
which, side note, is if you didn't know, he's also in an improv troupe. And he had a staff meeting last week.
Let's talk about that in a second. But this is a quickie. When I show you, I get the brochure in the mail. And
he's on the cover.
Next to the cast of Call the Midwife. And so I took a picture of this. I'll put the picture on the screen so you can see it. But
that's awesome.
I sent it to my family. Look at me. Look. I said, look at the cover of the East Tennessee PBS program guide. And my son writes back, "Oh, is that Kit Harington?" And apparently this guy is from Game of Thrones. And he's like...
Oh, that's why he looked familiar. I was like, he looks familiar, but I couldn't place him because I'm actually not a Game of Thrones fan. I never watched the show, but I know the face. Okay. Yeah.
So that was my son's joke. Oh, look at there's Kit Harington. And that's Keira Knightley.
I mean, but you're also, I know, but you're right. You're up there with like the echelon.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. Obviously,
it does make sense.
I know I'm on the channel a lot. I figured, here's how I justify it. I'm on 5 days a week, 52 weeks a year. So whatever that is, because they rerun Scholars Bowl.
You're asking me to do math right now, and I'm going to have to decline.
I run Scholars Bowl, and I certainly should. Maybe I'll make this a question. If I'm on this channel 52 weeks a year times 5 days a week, how many episodes is that a year? So that's 260 days a year. And then you add...
Times how many hours?
The 12, that'd be half hours, so that'd be 100.
Okay.
30. But then you add the 12 episodes of Up Close, that's 272 shows. And then you add the various pledge drives that I'm on throughout the course of the year.
So you're basically on nonstop.
Well, I mean...
And it makes sense why you would get a front row...
Yeah, I can justify
front page photo.
I can justify it now. But when I first got it, I was surprised because I didn't pose for the picture.
Oh, you didn't? Because it's a good picture.
It's a screen grab from the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You look good.
I don't even know which show.
One of 270 something, right?
Yeah, it could be any one of them. I guess I could get out my wife's wardrobe spreadsheet and see when did I wear
Hold on,
brown...
Jerry has a spreadsheet for your wardrobe?
Yeah. Oh, you want to see it? It's brilliant. I got the wardrobe.
I mean, I guess if you're on that much, you have to keep your wardrobe, constantly changing and make sure that if you are repeating any sort of outfit, there's enough time in between and those episodes aren't going to be back to back.
Yeah.
So I can see the need for that. It was just... not many people keep spreadsheets on what they wear.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what it's called right now. I'll have to show you off air.
Okay.
But yes, she does that. She has a thing where I look at it each morning before I go in, and okay, this episode I'm wearing this jacket, this shirt, this tie. And because I was
about to say, you will record multiples at times, so you have to have the wardrobe changes with you.
Right, so if we'll do 3 episodes, and Scholars Bowl we do at least 3 at a time, sometimes 6.
Okay.
And that's, I can't.
Those are long days.
When you see me, when you say, why does Frank seem so tired? He seemed fine yesterday on the show, but today he's just dragging. Probably because one was taped at 9 a.m. and one was taped at 3 p.m. on the same day. And I'm like,
yep, that makes sense.
Yeah, so I wear like 1 or 2 shirts, and then the ties is really the only thing that changes because I rotate the jacket combinations and the
that makes sense.
Shirt combinations. I don't have time to change everything, but I can quickly change the
tie.
tie.
You can change the accessory so it doesn't look the same. There's we could do like some spot the difference.
Yeah.
Like that, you could do a whole book of that.
Oh,
that's with enough appearances.
That's a fantastic idea. Well, you asked about our staff meeting, and I do want to mention we had a great time. And in fact, one of the folks at East Tennessee PBS called me the other day about an upcoming pledge drive for Brit Floyd or whatever show it is we're going to do.
Okay.
When I do the breaks and say, if you join East Tennessee PBS right now, you can get tickets to the upcoming Brit Floyd concert at the Tennessee Theater.
Ooh,
so
fancy.
They asked, what was this meeting you had the other day?
Okay, so let's back up just a little bit. So if you watch the show, Whose Line Is It Anyway, on TV, Wayne Brady has been a famous cast member. Ryan Stiles is on it, and there's a lot of other, you'd recognize their face, comedians, and then every now and then there was somebody that was, has grown to fame since they've been on the show.
When it was on ABC, Drew Carey was the host, and since it's been on the CW.
It's Aisha Taylor.
And she's great.
She's fantastic.
I went drinking with her.
I kind of have a girl crush on her.
You should.
She is fantastic, and she's so funny.
I went drinking with her in Vegas. Not Vegas, in New Orleans one night.
Oh.
Before she was super famous.
But I'm still jealous. She still just seems so awesome.
She came to the morning show boot camp DJ convention.
Oh, yeah. I'm aware of those things. Never went, but I'm aware.
And she came as a guest of the company that I worked for, which was Comedy World Radio Network.
Okay.
So, and Kevin Ryder from K-Rock and Aisha, and there were 2 other comedians who were one was local to New Orleans, and anyway, two dudes. Yeah. And we all went out and spent, I love her because she would come in as a guest on the show I had on Comedy World, produced on Comedy World also. She went to Dartmouth.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she's just really...
I mean, to be as funny as she is, and just anybody in comedy, you have to be really intelligent. That's what people don't realize. It's very hard to be funny like that.
Well, because we all see connections. You all see the connection between this and this. And if you're able to see the connection faster and turn that into a grammatically correct sentence fast. Really,
or a punchline.
Yeah. That's what I mean. It's
So Whose Line Is It Anyway has gone on tour. So it was here in Knoxville last week, and Frank and I ran into each other because he was there for the staff meeting because he is he's a member of our local improv troupe, Einstein Simplified. So if you have never seen them, I will say they are just as funny as the actors in Whose Line Is It Anyway.
So I shouldn't be salty.
They just can't sing.
Oh, no, I can't sing. And that was the difference. These guys sang a lot on stage because they had Bob Durkach playing the piano, and he's so good.
And then they not only came up with these jokes on the spot in the moment, but then they also put it to a song that could have been any genre from jazz to 80s rock, which was probably my favorite moment of the night. Good. And they sing in tune.
Yeah.
And then they harmonize with each other. And it just boggles the mind, the level of talent that takes.
Now, we could up our game. I mean, I'll say that I was a little salty that there were 1,800 people in a sold-out Tennessee theater paying $60 on average, probably, per ticket to see Who's Live Anyway on a Tuesday night in Knoxville, Tennessee, which is the same night that we normally perform for free over at Scruffy City Hall, or as I like to say, free to get in, but you got to pay to leave because we pass the tip jar at the end. Yeah,
it did not... It crossed my mind that I'm like, man, I haven't gone to see Frank do his improv thing on a Tuesday night in a really long time. And my excuse has always been because it's a Tuesday night. To be fair, my friends bought the tickets months ago and invited my husband and I.
Well, I bought mine on the pre-sale. I mean, I used the pre-sale code.
Of course you did.
I knew for a fact I was going to skip Einstein that night. It ends up that everybody in the troupe...
I was about to say, say, I thought y'all just canceled the show because I recognized most of the members of the troupe the show.
I'll put out our new. Yeah, we took a troupe photo in front of the poster.
I saw it. It looked really
lobby.
Good.
Yeah, I'll put. So all of us were there.
Yeah.
In fact, even one of the kids who's auditioning to join the troupe ended up sitting next to my wife. And I'm like, what are you doing here? I was like, I don't know. My mom gave me this ticket as a present. I didn't know it would be next to you.
But it makes sense because that's what y'all do. So, of course, you'd want to see a show that's about that because we don't have that much live comedy come through Knoxville.
Well, there's a new guy who is starting a series once a month at the Square Room.
Oh.
It's called Hip to Be Square Comedy, but it's stand-up.
Okay.
So these improvisers come through, and you're right. And you asked me...
Because what was that comedy club that used to exist in Knoxville?
Side Splitters.
Yes, because since Side Splitters closed in what?
Well, it's been...
2015?
Yeah, I feel like it's been close to 10 years because when it closed, we moved from... we used to do Einstein there, and we moved to Scruffy City Hall, and I think well, no, actually, there was another stop in between. Never mind. So it's probably been 10 years that it's closed.
Well, it can't have been 10 years because I've only been here 10 years this fall. So maybe 8 years.
Fair enough. But we used to do the Einstein shows there.
Yeah.
And I even did some stand-up out there.
I remember because I saw a couple shows of yours out there.
Yeah. Well, so the idea then is... Oh, never mind. I lost it.
And when you get older, sometimes thoughts just
well, it doesn't matter. Because I was more interested in what you were talking about anyway. But it was probably some other, improv thing.
But yeah, so, also Einstein Simplified, Tuesday night, Scruffy City. Frank and his troupe do stand-up comedy, and they take the audience suggestions to come up with things on the spot, and it's really fantastic.
We have been talking about, there's a disc, CD, I guess you can buy it in other forms, that Laura Hall from Whose Line made, and it's called Improv Karaoke.
Okay.
And where she does these basic instrumental tracks. Here's the jazz tune, here's the rock tune.
Oh.
So if you have a troupe like ours, and you would have to, and that's what these guys do, is they know the tune.
Yeah.
They have practiced to the same basic tune.
Yeah.
And so that all I have to worry about is making up the words. And I have found, when I'm singing an improv now, I steal a tune.
Whoa, time out. You actually sing, Frank?
When I'm singing an improv, I'm pretending to sing. I'm acting like I'm imitating a singer.
Okay.
So what I'll do, it's not good.
So I guess, because you probably know already if you subscribe to Frank and Friends show that his wife Jerry is a professional singer and is incredible.
Yep.
But it's never come up that you sing. So do you actually sing? Can you sing well?
No.
Okay, I didn't think so. No offense.
But my wife will say that when he's outside of his head and when he's not thinking about it, how bad he is, and when he's trying to imitate someone else singing,
okay,
he's passable because he's not thinking about it of him as himself. And I'm trying to realize I'm talking about me. This came up in a Front Page Follies years ago where they all knew I was terrible, but I begged and pleaded to do a solo on the this old Bob Hope song, Thanks for the Memory, talking about a politician who had lost and was finally out of public life, but he was a source of constant humor. So I wanted to do it because I love Bob Hope. I didn't really care about the politics of the joke.
Yeah.
So when I get up there, the director's like, they were thinking about cutting the scene because nobody believed in me. And he's all right, well, we'll practice it one time. So he looks at my wife and goes, I don't even know what key to play. And my wife whispers to him, I found this out later. My wife whispers to him, let him start and try to just guess and figure out what key he's in. Because this guy's a brilliant musician, he could easily do that.
Exactly.
So I start in with the thanks for the memory. And the guy looks at my wife and I could see him lip syncing something to her. And he's saying, he's in the right key. And it wasn't that I was in the right key, it's that I was imitating Bob Hope and I had practiced to the recording of Bob Hope 100 times
so
before.
You're mimicking the actual artist makes you passable.
So when so I try to take that trick to the improv stage. If I have to sing something, I'll take an opera tune or a Christmas tune.
Okay.
Like the easiest one is from Rigoletto, La Donna es Mobile.
I'm not as cultured as you, so I will smile.
I only learned this recently. I was watching David Crawford on a Metropolitan Opera recording of Rigoletto. And anyway, so you would know the tune because it goes La Donna es Mobile. I don't know the words. Bum 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 ba da. Dun 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 da. Dun 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 da. Dun 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 da. So then, if you have that in your head, and you know you want to sing about celery or whatever it is the audience has asked you to sing about, you just start singing, you
I can see that. Once you break it down like that, I can see what the process would be.
Right.
But then you still have to come up with words and jokes in real time, and that's still incredibly difficult.
I don't like celery. It tastes like hellery. I don't know. It's stupid.
That's probably why it's funny.
All right. Well, I appreciate you being here, and I need you to come back and do more of these episodes because there's so much we have to get caught up on.
Just don't break my arm.
Yeah. I mean, I met you the day you came here for your interview, and I feel like I've been friends with you since the moment
we met. Before, really, because you reached out before I even came for my interview.
Lucky me. So please do, let me first give the plug for Audible. If you like audio entertainment, whether it's our podcast or whether it's any of the constant barrage of new audiobooks and material podcasts, custom audio entertainment, everything that's being uploaded to Audible on a regular basis, you can go to audibletrial.com/Frank and Friends Show and get a free 30-day premium membership, which includes a credit for an MP3 download. And that happens every month.
Every month you get a new credit.
So you get one during that first month. You can burn them one at a time. You can bank them and spend them on something that's more expensive in terms of credits. Whatever you decide is up to you. But if you use our code, you're supporting the show at audibletrial.com/Frank and Friends Show. And it transfers to all your devices, whether you're listening on the phone or on the Alexa or on the...
if you have a Kindle.
Whatever, all the things. All right. Also, we've got our merchandise, our Frank and Friends Show merchandise, like the cups, like the towel. I don't even know if I have time to unfurl the towel that you get because I was going to show them.
But it is getting close to summertime, so if you need a new beach towel for the summer, there you go.
I was going to show you the hoodie because I had that. I wore this to the improv show the other day, and this is the and
it's good quality too.
Yeah,
it's cozy.
It's nice. It's nice and warm. All right, and you can find that at frankandfriendshow.com/store. Most of all, and on the next episode, I'll tell how I've been going to these church luncheons and working the crowd and handing out magnets. Not a lot.
You got to do what you got to do.
But I met this new this family I've been seeing at church for a while, and this guy Peter, who's in Knights of Columbus, he's like, they professional introducers, right? He knows the etiquette. I said hi to Peter, and Peter says, "Frank, do you know Jess and his wife Dana?" I'm like, "Oh, hello, Jess and his wife Dana. Yeah. I've seen them."
Yeah, but you've not actually met them. So.
Right, and so that's nice. And I said to give them the magnet, so please listen to the shows. And then my friend Emily Stroud, you remember her from Channel 10? Well, she's at this church luncheon. Actually, the reason she's there is because I dragged her over there. But that's just, I said, "Why don't you come over to the luncheon?" But she said she'd watched the episodes, and I noticed the subscriber count went up after I gave her the magnet.
Nice.
So appreciate that.
So buy the merch, and then all of the channels, Frank and Friends Show on
all the podcast apps.
Podcast apps, but then also don't forget social media. So because that's the way you can view the videos, you can like and share them with your friends.
Yeah.
All that stuff.
Thanks so much. Okay, then. I know you got to go to work, so that's why we got our
day jobs. Right. Am I right?
Well, I got to go to my questionable job over there in the kitchen too. Well, I got to do a radio show for Lake George, New York, and it's still winter up there. So how do I explain my seasonal allergies? But
I think you just pretend you're like affecting some funny voice for the day.
It is the Frank and Friends Show. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Frank Murphy.
I'm Becca James.
And we'll talk to you again next time.